Beasts of Chaos. Now, that's an interesting subject. Now, in the Warhammer world especially, because it really shows the true nature of chaos when speaking about the old world at least. See, the Beasts of Chaos are any beast that is born or formed from magic. Well, this video will mostly be about the Chaos Beastmen. I think I should quickly talk about some of the other creatures too to show you what a Beast of Chaos is. So when the old ones failed and decided to leave the old world, magic was everywhere, and creatures from the warp decided to have some fun. It took an alliance between elves and dwarves to fight the Chaos Horde, and eventually halt it. While they did everything they could, the two races couldn't stop the planet being saturated with magical energy. From pole to pole and around the equatorial line, magic was everywhere. From this, magical monsters started to appear. Like the Manticore, native to the north near the Chaos Gate, these monsters are vicious and absolutely evil. Whereas further south, down near the elven realms of Athlon, unicorns are native. Now, a unicorn may not be entirely peaceful, but they won't tear you to shreds as soon as they see you. Manticore and unicorns are both technically beasts of chaos. So, to be honest with you, to really look at what it means to be a beast of chaos would take an insane deep dive into individual creatures, where they're from, and this could really show the nature of magic and chaos in the old world. Now, the Beastmen are an entirely different breed of chaos beast. Now, technically Skaven are Beastmen, but seeing as they don't worship the main pantheon of gods, but devote themselves to Great Horn One instead, that is a discussion for another day. While the most common form of Beastman is the bovine looking ones, with curly horns, cloven hooves, they do come in many different guises. Chaos Beastmen first came to the old world when the Polar Gate collapsed. Magic flooded the old world and twisted men into the abominations of half man, half beast we know today. In reality, this is only the first of them. Since then, the ways to create a Beastman has changed from mutated births to natural conception. Well, Beastman and woman natural conception, though rarely consensual. But there you go, that's the way to create them. Now, Beastmen hate men, absolutely despise them. Beastmen would butcher an entire village because they had the sheer audacity to breathe. Now, this can really put a problem when it comes to breeding, if you've killed everyone already. Beastmen are nomadic in nature, often roaming in packs or herds around the old world, with a strict hierarchy, with the young ungors at the bottom of the pile, and beast lords at the top. Now, beast lords will have honours such as wargor. As said, ungors are the youngest and weakest, and with a society like the Beastmen, ungors tend to end up being very spiteful and cruel until they grow up. See, the older and stronger gors are always hitting down, so it breeds this sort of behaviour in the young. Whereas a gor may savagely beat an ungor, then the ungor would then take out its problem onto a caged slave who cannot fight back. Gors are your average beastman, average being used in the most objective way possible. They are stronger than your average man and have the same intelligence, but cunning and instincts of an animal. This will always put a gor at a massive advantage when it comes to fighting humans. As said, beastmen come in many different shapes and sizes, where the most common is the bovine. Now, this is true for the worshippers of the three chaos gods, Khorne, Noble and Tzeentch. However, Tzeentch beastmen worshippers, or Zangors, these are more avian in nature with huge beaked heads. Their coming is often heralded with avian shrieks, along with the usual brave horn blasts that the beastmen are known for. Now, the worship of chaos gods with the beastmen is different from human worship. First, of being a nomadic, there is no real temple to their patron deity. See, in the middle of the beastman campsite is a herdstone. Unlike the campsite herdstones Unlike the campsite, herdstones are a permanent fixture. These are as close to a temple as what Chaos God's Beastmen will get. Now, actually, strangely enough, this is more of a temple to Khorne than his followers usually build too, given that Khorne's temples are the battlefield. These herdstones are more than just a temple too. They are where the herd meet, give praise, get drunk, and take prisoners. Now, think summer solstice at Stonehenge with more murder. Now, these herdstones are usually in highly inaccessible parts, sometimes in the darkest part of a forest or halfway up a mountain. Now, places sensible people would not go. If someone was foolhardy enough to seek out a herdstone and be lucky enough to find one without a Beastman campsite surrounding it, the adventurer will find something far worse. Usually in the shape of a minotaur. Now, minotaurs may look like bigger beastmen because they pretty much are just bigger beastmen. They're not as smart, but a lot more violent. They have a heads of bulls, and some have a hind legs of one too. They are dim-witted as much as they are strong, and soon as they get the scent of blood, they get angry. Very angry. Blood puts a minotaur into a mindless rage. So, you have a beastman that is twice as big as his buddies, incredibly violent, in a very bad mood, and has decided to make that your problem. So, if you aren't praying to Sigmar at this point, you better start. And the best bit about a minotaur? They're not even the biggest creature you could meet on your way to a herdstone. That goes to a dragon ogre. Two words that should never be combined when naming a creature. Dragon ogres have sworn fealty to Chaos God. And it says only when the skies tear open with lightning and thunder do the dragon ogres wake. During the slumber, the Chaos God whisper promises of war and bloodshed. So, when the monstrous creature rouses from its sleep, the first thing it will do is start a fight with, the first thing it sees. And this is usually another dragon ogre. These fights shake the very earth. Now, dragon ogres have two defining attributes. First is they're immortal, so they live forever if they don't die in battle, and that is how the only way they can die. The other one, they don't stop growing. You have something that's immortal, will live forever, and will never stop growing. Which means that dragon ogres grow to unimaginable sizes. When they get so big, they will become a dragon ogre shag-off, towering over treetops and castles. And there was one, Krakenok, the Black, was said to be the size of a mountain. Well, see, now here's the other thing. The dragon ogre shag-offs are still sworn to their chaos gods, but they're very old now, and they're kind of starting to get a bit of buyer's remorse. So they end up being really independent. They're independent to a fault. As in, they will refuse to fight for their god, just so they can keep what remains of their soul. That's always a bit of a sad meaning to dragon ogres, in my opinion. That they grow so old and they regret the pacts they've made, so now they've got to just live with it. So they will not fight for chaos, just so they can have a bit of a soul left. So it's a bit sad, but never mind. Anyway, thank you very much for watching into this video about the Chaos Beastmen and Chaos Beasts. As always, the links to Wayland Games down below, as is Forbidden Planet, my comics, my t-shirt and Patreon. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon.